creating that passive income and getting that little bit, it may not be a lot, but you know what? That coming in will make a big difference to your life. And I'm really passionate about it only because I'm getting older and I'm like, whoa, I need to do more.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it may not resonate with everyone. And even our younger realtors there, I mean, it would show them, start.
Your network is your net worth. Come listen to some of the most successful people I know share invaluable knowledge, stories, and advice in real estate, business, and beyond. This is Weiss Advice. Whether you want to take your business or personal life to the next level, look no further.
Welcome back to another episode of Weiss Advice. I am thrilled to be here this morning. That's me, Yona Weiss, your host, with another great guest. We have Donna Reid from New York. What's going on, Donna? How you doing today?
I'm doing great. Oh my God, you said that really good. I loved it.
I've been trying to use the accents recently, introducing our guests and where they're from. It comes with time. My father grew up in Queens, so I got a little of that in me. But yeah, it's really, really great to have you on the show. I'm excited to learn from you today and just kind of hear from your story. And I'm sure our listeners are as well.
Yeah, I'm really excited to be here. I feel honored, to be here with you as well. Definitely.
Well, it's truly my pleasure. For our listeners who don't know who you are, I'd love for you to kind of give a brief background on, who is Donna Reid? What are you up to?
Well, I'm Donna Reid, and I've been in real estate for 20 years. It doesn't seem like that, but it has been. And one of the things that I'm also passionate about, but I'm in residential area that I do. I also love working with my clients. One of the things that I do with my clients, I always say to them that it's not just the experience, but also keeping them, always remembering them and creating that bind together that they could look at me and say, you know what? I really want to use Donna again for another purchase. So with that, I've become a residential broker, also with Keller Williams. But the most important thing is giving back to my clients. And that really, really resonate with me. It's not so much the transaction, it's the end of the transaction to say, you know what? I would love to use her again.
Right.
I lived in England for 5 years. I started my multifamily journey a little over there. I would always go to the auctions. And then from there, I purchased something, but didn't live there long enough, just 5 years. And then I had my daughter and we came back here. And that's when I went fully into, the real estate, and the real estate bug got me. So from there, I went to do more on multifamily right now to help more realtors into it. So that's where I am.
Wow, amazing. So you've seen a lot in 20 years being in the real estate market, especially on the residential side, and having had so many clients. And I love that you're there to service clients. Are the majority, or have been for the majority of your career, the clients you're working with are investors more, or, homeowners?
Well, most of all are their homeowners, and I look at them. I never just leave them. I always give them option of what they would like to do. I'm more on the listing side. So when they create and they finish up the process of selling their home, they want to buy another home. Mm-hmm. But that's not the only thing I want to help them with. What about investments and putting that money to work for them? So that's where I come in, and I just give them options. And some of them were like, wow, Donna, I never thought about that. But you know what? I always say you have money to go make more money. And that's what I teach them. And I also say to them, and a lot of them want me to help them look for other properties that they could invest in. So that's where we started off. And that's where I help them along the way.
I'm really curious to hear, because you went through the great financial crisis, 2008, 2009, seeing what was happening with the real estate market. I mean, all the foreclosures and everything that was happening at that point. Can you share like any war stories or anything that was really learning experience for you during that time, and really with in mind, what you're seeing right now? Are there any similarities?
Well, you can't compare both, definitely. Last time when I was going through with it, I was so inundated with short sales coming along. And it was like, how can I help a homeowner save their home? And they really can't even afford it when they, even if I save it for them. So it was a really catch 22 for them in that position. And I just didn't know what to do. But what we did is that we created a system that where they would want to go to next. We made it comfortable. And with that, it was just a transition to from short sale to maybe renting and then off that owning again. So we just created that system that would help them during those times. Right now, the system is totally different. We're not seeing short sales at all that much. Why? Is because people now they have equity in their homes. So if someone is struggling, it's just better to sit down and speak with them of what their goals are. Take some of the money out, live a little, pay off the bills, get yourself sorted a little bit, and then be able to move on. But you don't want to overstretch yourself. But yet still it's just educating them and giving them the option. I always say that once you give them the option, they'll know what's best to do and to go from there. So I'm totally open to that. But right now it was a challenging time. But as long as you open up and get to know their clients, I think you'll be really good on it.
Yeah. I mean, clearly there are differences from what happened then. You're absolutely right. With the appreciation that's happened over the past, decade, the equity that people have in their homes
Exactly
is really going to help them ride through this, I think. And meaning they're not as leveraged or over leveraged as they were back
exactly.
when, that was really a hard time. I mean, that's so hard when you're dealing with, I think the difference between dealing with investors or homeowners, and tell me if this has been an experience as well. I was a broker for a short period of time, primarily dealing with homeowners. And there's just so much emotion involved in that process. How do you deal with that? How do you handle that?
I think that part is very difficult because one of my job is to create a service of excellence for them. So when they're going through a hard time, you have to take yourself out the picture and remember what they need. Some of them, I've had clients cried on me. And I've had clients to say, just recently, I have one, I think I did a video, I didn't post it yet or whatever. I had a client, she's been in a rut. Why? Because she wanted to sell but couldn't sell. Now she's very ill and she can't move and can't, but she still want to sell, but she's crying because why? She wants to go away, but she can't because she's stuck with the house. I have clients that are in pain and they're in the hospital and they're like, Donna, I don't want to sell, but I have to sell because I have to pay the medical bills.
Wow.
So what do you do with that? It's just being able to take yourself out of the position and see what their needs are and help them along the way. And that's what I really want to cater to my clients. So with me now getting into multifamily, what I did is that didn't realize I was getting this old. But I'm almost at the retirement age. And I was like, whoa, what am I going to do? Am I going to keep on living from commission to commission? I need to get off the treadmill. What am I going to do? So I thought about if I'm in this situation, there must be tons of realtors out there in this situation that say to themselves, whoa, what am I doing? I can't be in a retirement age and still be living from commission to commission. So one of my passion is what? Speak with the realtors, help them get off that treadmill of living from commission to commission and be able to build passive income so that now they could put more money in their pocket when it comes to tax incentives. Yeah. So I just want to be there to help them to see what I saw, what I'm like now, and one of the examples that happened to me before I became a realtor, I was a case manager. And this broke my heart even remembering it. I had a client while I was a case manager, I would get home care services for the clients. And in this incident, she was a broker, but she was living in a high ranch. She lived upstairs and a tenant was living downstairs. She was in the hospital and I had to get her home care services.
Wow.
she couldn't afford a home care services. Why? Because she didn't prepare. She didn't have anything coming in. She had her second home. She had that home, but it wasn't enough to cater for her lifestyle, what she wants.
Yeah.
So for realtors out there now, you got to think to yourself, what lifestyle you want to still live when you're at that age? People, it hurts my heart to know that you're so sick and then you can't have that lifestyle you want to have.
Right.
So it makes it very, very difficult. So what are we doing? We need to create something. We need something to create the cash, give us cash flow, give us a passive income so that we could still travel, still be able to take days off and not worried about, whoa, am I going to get a commission today or not? And so that is something I feel like, wow, I think we missed the boat on that. Well, I did until I'm turning retirement age.
It's fascinating to me. Most people, and obviously you're passionate about helping fellow realtors. That's the world you live in, but it's not limited to that. I mean, really the whole society and anyone who is in a sales job, if you're living commission or paycheck to paycheck, it's very, very difficult. And one of the things, not being given that financial education at a younger age, I think now, it doesn't matter when, now you have to start. And I saw a friend of mine post recently and just summed it up in such a succinct way that the way to do it is threefold. Number one, you reduce your expenses if you can. Number two, you increase income if you can. And then you grow the gap, you invest whatever that extra is, right? So if you can live off of 50% of your income and invest the rest, or even 70, or whatever it is. So many people, we just increase our lifestyle so much that we don't have anything left over to invest. And it's really where our retirement is going to come from, and our ability to live, like you said, to be able to do what we want to do, be able to travel, be able to take time off. The only way we're going to do that is if we have that passive cash flow, if we have that wealth that's been built up over the years. And it doesn't have to be a ton. I mean, there are ways and there are vehicles to do it, especially, if you have a retirement plan, there's great ways to grow that through investments. But real estate, even index funds, there are simple ways that can grow it, slowly, but you need to take those steps. And I'm glad that someone like you is passionate about that for realtors, because again, that's something that's not being taught enough.
I don't know. I think it's because I was getting older. That's what went pew, pew. I'm like, when are you going to stop traveling? And when are you going to really think about? It's like you just stop in your tracks and you're like, you got to do something different. How are you going to really keep on going on like this? And even with the top producers, you look at them and they're like, okay, what if you get sick?
Mm-hmm.
What if? So you're stuck. So creating that passive income and getting that little bit, it may not be a lot, but you know what? That coming in will make a big difference to your life. And I'm really passionate about it only because I'm getting older and I'm like, whoa, I need to do more.
Yeah.
So, it may not resonate with everyone. And even our younger realtors there, it would show them, start. Don't leave it for, till me not thinking it through.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah. And the thing about it is that I love real estate. So I was like, when people say, oh, retirement or leave it, I was like, what? I'll never do this. I love this.
You're going to keep doing it forever.
No, but you can't. Exactly. Right. So if you don't prepare, how are you going to work on it? So yeah, that really resonated with me. And I'm glad that I have this platform that I could even speak exactly how I feel towards people that may be going through what I'm going through, to look at it a bit differently.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that for, what I could help me to help you along the way, because some of us sometimes are in a bubble and be like, no, I don't need help. It's okay. It's okay. If you need help, we're here for you,
Amazing. So I'm curious, how did you first come across this? Because it's not something that is necessarily talked about so much, especially if your world in the residential side is surrounded by, like you said, home buyers. You're in New York. Obviously, prices have gone up over, the past 20 years extensively. The cost of living has gone up extensively. Where does someone find out or learn about, multifamily or commercial real estate investing as an investor?
Well, I must say, first you have to have a goal. What do you want to end up with, right?
Right.
And then not only that, have somebody that would be able to speak your term, walk with you, guide you, a mentor.
Mm-hmm.
I find that mentors are so helpful along the way. And creating that mindset, the mentorship, the mindset, and knowing the end goal, what you want to get to. Having that installed will make it work for you. How I started was with mentorship and mastermind groups that I affiliated with, networking with
Mm-hmm.
others like-minded. And then I looked at that. I was like, whoa, I like what they're doing. Let me learn more about it. And networking really helped with that for sure.
Wow. Was there any one specific group that you found first or that you were a part of that you can share?
No, well, the group, I don't want to say because I don't want to make the group bigger than what they need be. But it was more the people. I was not there. And you know what? Everyone has a different feel on things. It was the people that made my mastermind the group. Not the mastermind. It was the people, because the network, it was amazing. If I did not know something, I could, oh, Sally, do you know this? And it was like that. And we would have dinners, we would have Zoom calls, and what's made the difference. I could call them up now and say, I'm stuck with a problem, and they'll help me along the way.
Wow.
And I'm telling you, networking is amazing. And that group did that for me. And dream big. Dream big. Not only, 6 family, but you could look at 100 units. Did you know that? Why? Because you're not doing it alone. And that's what made the difference with that. So if you're on the pathway and you're thinking, oh, you know what? I can't, it's too much when you hear the word million. And I was like, no, it's not. If you take it one step at a time and know where you want to get to, that'd be great. I remember one time I'm looking at a deal and I called the lender and I said, oh, I have to, raise 2 million. He says, oh, is that a big number for you? I went, huh? That was my lender.
It's all relative,
Because they didn't believe in me. I was like, 2 million. He said, are you okay with that number? I was like, yeah, I'm okay with that number. And it's having that trust and the faith that you could do it. And you're not alone in this journey.
Yeah. And it's all relative. Oftentimes you think, when you're, just to put it in perspective, and when you're a kid, you get like that. I mean, maybe I'm dating myself here, but you get your first paycheck and it's like $4.25 an hour. That was like minimum wage when I was a kid. Like, wow, that's amazing. And I got this whole paycheck here. It's all for me. That's big for a 14-year-old. I had my first job. And it was like, it's just amazing to get money and feel good about that. But,
yeah.
When you're like, oh, and I want to buy this thing, it's like $500. I don't know how I can ever afford something like that. Right.
Yep.
But then, then you're thinking, okay, $5 million. What's like $50 million? The numbers, when you get into commercial real estate and you realize how partnerships work and how funding and financing works with banks, it becomes so much easier. And so you have to kind of just get out of your comfort zone sometimes to be able to experience that firsthand. And then it's like, oh, okay, this is fine. I can do this.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's that mindset too, believe in you could achieve it.
Right.
I just make that up. But anyway, but I'm like, yeah, you can,
If you can believe it, you can achieve it. Yeah, I think
that's right. Yeah,
great.
let's put it that way. Yeah, you said it better.
Something like that. Amazing. And so are you investing in state, out of state? I'm really curious because New York is notorious for just like renter control and all that kind of stuff.
Right. Well, it's funny. I do invest in New York in Airbnbs, but out of state, I look for more for my multifamily, and I look more for what my investors are looking for, so because I work with them, raise capital. So I look more for what they are. I'm the one that's going to assess what they should go in, where they should go. And then I bring it back to them and give them options again. And they say, no, Donna, I like this. I don't like this. But most of all, when I give them an asset to invest in, they normally do come on board.
That's amazing. I'm just curious, in New York, going back to the residential side right now, I mean, it's become like almost not affordable to even live, to buy a place in New York for a lot of people. I mean, are you finding, where are you focused in terms of that? Is it more in the city or the boroughs, Long Island? I don't even know. I'm just curious.
Well, what I do is that I'm in Brooklyn because I'm so affiliated with so much of my family, friends, and church is in Brooklyn. Queens, I'm affiliated with because my office is like, what, 20 minutes, not even that, 10 minutes to Queens. And then in Long Island, I live on Long Island. So
Mm,
if a client comes to me and say, Donna, I have 500,000, 500,000 may not work in Brooklyn, may work in Queens, but you may have to fix it up. But 500,000 may take you into Long Island. So it's getting to know what their budget is and then putting them in a position for them to excel. And
right.
sometimes even giving them that option, they say, oh, I never thought about that.
Mm-hmm.
But first of all, it's not, and even with the interest rate being high right now, it's not looking at the amount of money, 600,000, 500. It's the monthly payment. I always say to my clients, are you comfortable with that monthly payment? And if you are, we're on it. We're going to go put in an offer. But if you're not comfortable, let's take a step back and maybe look for something different where you are comfortable with the monthly payments.
Right. No, that totally makes sense. It's hard for homeowners, especially first-time home buyers,
Yeah.
to get comfortable with something like that. Oh, I'm gonna take like, a third or a half of my paycheck or whatever
Yeah,
just to cover my
exactly.
mortgage. It's very challenging.
Yeah, it is. But to get to know them and put them in the right place, what their money could shine for them and they could still live comfortable, that's where the magic happens. Not to just keep them stuck in an area and they'll be like, oh, I can't afford Brooklyn, but maybe not, maybe here, maybe there, and then they have options to think about. And that's what makes it really comfortable.
Yeah, that's amazing. Multifamily, I just want to just ask you one more question on that regards. I mean,
Mhm.
multifamily, have you visited or have you explored, is really the word I'm looking for, other asset classes in the commercial real estate space? Or, I mean, multifamily is obviously such a great asset class because everyone needs a place to live, right? There are so many options when it comes to, finding the types of deals, the areas to invest in. But I'm just curious, your personal opinion, if you're exploring other asset classes as well.
Well, right now, my investors love multifamily. I'm not shying away from mobile park and storage facilities because I know that's one of the up and coming areas. So my thing is to place the investors or give them options where it's best for them. And it
Right.
could be storage, or it could be mobile home park. So that's where I have to come in and to be more flexible with that. But for right now, we're focusing on multifamily because we know that it could give us the return what they're looking for. And it's also a stability in
Mm-hmm.
that asset. Not that the other assets are not stable, but it's just for right now we're going to focus on that.
Sure.
And when the investor come and they say, oh, Donna, I was thinking about mobile park. Well, and have that also. But most of all, if they're coming, it's going to be multifamily. Our focus is.
Got it. Okay. Awesome. Love that. And it's great to have someone like yourself who is, well versed in these areas to find the right investment to
Yeah.
put their money in. So good for you. I wish you a lot of continued success with that because, like you said, especially the brokers, the realtors who you are dealing with on a day-to-day basis in your network, they need their options. They need to know that they can invest and they should be investing in order to make sure that they have enough cushion for retirement, because guess what? It's not going to happen on its own.
Yeah, I know. I always think about it as, we're on a treadmill and I'm like, okay, are we going to stop? Are we just going to keep on going, going, going? And it's amazing when we look at it that way and just try to help each other that is out there because it may not fit for everyone, but for the ones that really needs help, yeah, because we're not an island on our own. We need to stick together to make it happen for each other, for sure.
Yeah. And there's so many options out there. So it's always
Yeah.
good to explore your options, with someone who has experience in both or in different asset classes. So Donna, I would love to transition now to what we call the final four Okay, these are 4 questions that I ask all my guests. And the first question to you is,
Hey,
what's the worst job that you ever had?
I wouldn't say this one was the worst job. It was different. I was a manager. My goal was to move to England, and I did. I lived there. But before that, I wanted to work for a company that would just take me straight to England. So after college, I worked for this retail store. We ended up cleaning the walls. I was like, how did I happen to do that when I'm the manager? So that I did not expect. It was a great job, but some aspect of being a manager, I wasn't looking at that part, but yet still did work out in the end. I didn't get a job in England with that company, but it gave me the leverage I needed when I got there to get a job. So it did work out really good too.
Sure. Well, listen, it's a learning experience, right?
Absolutely. The walls,
For
right?
sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, second question, what's a book you've read that's given you a paradigm shift?
Wow. Wow, there's so many books. I mean, wow. I think it will be more the Go Giver, only because that particular book helped me to look at
Mm,
what I have to offer to others. And it's not about when you take yourself out the picture and find the other person what they need. I'm telling you this. It goes 10 times better.
yeah,
Because if you stop thinking about yourself and you help the other person, what you want, it'll come right back to you without a doubt.
thousand
And
percent.
my faith in God, that resonates so much with me helping others, that where they are doesn't mean that they're going to be there forever. But if you help them first, it's going to help you. You're going to be helped. Somebody going to help you along the way. And that book's really resonated with me. I love it. Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. Such a great book. And it's been mentioned a few times before on the podcast. And
Yeah.
I love it. I really resonate with the premise of the book. Guys, if you listen to this and haven't yet checked out The Go Giver by Bob
Yeah.
Berg, check it out. We'll put it in the show notes. And okay, third question is going to be, what's a skill or talent that you would like to learn? And this could be anything.
I think it will be more of a second language.
Mhm.
I do travel for real estate. We were planning, we went to Jamaica. That's where I'm from. But we went there, and also with being a part of CIPS, Certified Property International Real Estate, with that, and also FIAPSI, part of those programs. And they helped me to travel as a real estate realtor. So therefore, knowing a second language will be such a great advantage having that too. So I would love to learn a second language for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome. Love it. And that's really a pretty common answer as well. It's so,
Oh, is it? Okay.
yeah, listen, languages are an amazing thing and can really open you up to so many things, especially if you are traveling. So go for it. Do it if you can.
Yeah, I'm going to put that on the bucket list. Yeah.
All right. Fourth and final question. What does success mean to you?
Well, success to me means to be able to do what you want to do when you want to do it. So you're not tied into something that you really didn't want to do. Even if you're making money, a lot of people are making millions, but yet still you're tied into something that you don't have time to do what you want to do. You don't have time to spend with the kids, or you don't have time to travel. No, for me, success is stop me, but do what I want to do when I want to do it. So like today, I want to maybe go to Connecticut or take a drive to Baltimore. I could do that. That's what success. Or I want to travel to Jamaica to see my dad. That's success for me.
Awesome.
So it's just meaning of finding where you are to where you want to go to and getting there.
Awesome. Love to hear that. Well, thank you so much for joining me. I mean, it's been wonderful to hear your story, to learn from you today. And, I just wish you a lot of continued success. Where can our listeners find you or reach out to you?
Most of IG, LinkedIn, Twitter, it's Donna Sells New York.
Okay. Well, we will make sure to put that. Donna Sells New York. Guys, you heard it here first.
NY. Donna Sells NY.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. It's really been a pleasure. And to our listeners, Yeah, listeners, you guys remember, until next time, the best advice comes only when you ask.
Real quick, I have one question for you. Did you like this episode? If you did, I want to ask you a huge favor. See, the biggest thing that helps this podcast grow and that will spread this message to the whole world is that if you leave a review, a rating, and subscribe to the podcast. What that does is it basically tells the platforms that this podcast is out on is that you like my stuff and I'm doing something right. So take a few seconds out of your day, hit that subscribe button, leave a rating or review. I would be extremely grateful. Also, I want to hear from you guys. So I want to hear some feedback. If you have any questions for future episodes, please find me on LinkedIn. Send me a DM, a connection request, Yona Weiss, and I'd love to hear from you.